Hello everyone, this is Sean, and this is the preview slash unboxing of model number 36, the USS Defiant. The reason it's model 36 is because DS9 was the third series, which was introduced in season 6 of Star Trek Next Generation. And another reason it could be 6 is because the Defiant was introduced in season 3 of DS9. So anyway, I'll open it up and we'll take a look at what's inside the box. All right, should be able to see everything from here. There we go. So the guide already has color callouts and everything, as you can see right there. Those are the colors, if the camera will focus. You can see how I already marked them out with their appropriate Tamiya color or their folk art color. So we'll take a look at the guide here. Just let me adjust the camera a bit better so you can see what I'm looking at. So there's the picture of the ship. And the main body of the ship might or might not be as big. So there's step 1. That's a clear part. So the clear part's going to get the primer, white primer. Solid part's going to get the gray primer. And then step 2 shows the assembly of the main body and any other clear parts that assemble to the main body, and the front deflector thing, which was assembled from part 1. And then in part 3 you see the 2 engine housings. You see, I guess, either the phasers or the torpedo launchers. You see the bottom engine housings with pegs, so hopefully everything will fit well together. And on step 4, there's the assembly of the rear impulse engines, the assembly of the front impulse Bussard collectors or warp grills. And let's see, step 5, because I'm going to be putting it on the base, I'm not going to be using that plug. There we go, that's clearer. I'm not going to be using the plug, but I will use any clear parts, of course, including the back. That's probably the back impulse engine there. Maybe rear torpedo launchers, we'll see. And of course, there's how it goes on the plug. Usually I omit the posable sections because they just leave it too flimsy. But I have to remember, before I assemble anything, I have to keep in mind which parts get what color. Because if you zoom in, I'm going to try to zoom in for a minute. If you look at the front warp grills, you'll see the main section, the darkest color, to me a clear red, but then you see folk art copper. So what I'll try to do is I'll spray paint the red over the entire front of that piece, mask off the red, and then do the folk art copper by hand. And of course you see clear blue gloss inside the recesses for the deflector dish. And of course the dark color pieces, zoom in again. The dark colors are the decals, which you can see all over the front, top, and bottom of the ship, and again the color callouts. So that's all for the instructions, and we'll move on to the parts themselves. Starting with the decal sheet, which you can see here. So each decal, you know, it has the arrowheads, it has any stripes, it has the registry. It has the different panel colors, so I don't have to mask off everything. Windows, and everything else. 2018, okay, good. So that's the decals. And then I will open up the parts from their bags and we'll take a look. Don't have to open up the dome base, you're familiar with this, but you can see how it's a smaller one for 1000 scale, just like it was for the Excelsior. There's the rod, and there, somewhere in here, is the posable section. for the base itself. And then of course you have the clear parts, which are right here. So they have the numbers stamped onto this side. And you can see where the clear blue is going to go. And then you can see where the clear blue for the deflector dish. You can see the part numbers, the escape pod assemblies, everything else. So white primer for all these clear parts. There's the impulse housings. You can see how there's going to be red in between and copper on the two raised lines. And then we have the main sprue trees themselves, the solid color ones. So you can see the front deflector housing, the impulse and warp engine housings, both top and bottom. I don't really know what that is, but I'm sure the part will figure it out. All numbered. There's the, let's see here. That's the bottom of the body, main body. You can tell because there's no escape pod. That's the bottom sensor palette. And you can see the inside, which has the copyright date, and the big peg, which is strange. Oh, I know why. I know why that peg's there. It's not for the top section. It is for the mounting hole. Right. And there's the top section, which should fit with the little pegs that match up from the bottom. See? And you can also see, if you flip it around, you can see the spots for the escape pods, impulse housing again. There's the bridge dome, which is integrated, well protected too. Look, you can't even see it. That's good. And then these parts, which get colored as well, and all the raised panel lines, which show where those different panel colored decals, which you saw on this sheet. I'm sure every raised panel line corresponds to a specific decal. So that is all. That's all for Model 36's unboxing. I will post that video 2 weeks from tomorrow, because tomorrow, August 26th, Friday, I post part 5 of the 97 Herbie build. A week later, the first Friday of September, I post part 6 of the Herbie build. And you'll see the preview of this at the end of part 6. And then I'll post the unboxing of this. So now I'm approximately 2 weeks ahead of my posting schedule, which is good. It gives me time to build this. So, talk to you all later, and keep building models.